curtains down on the 2024 election campaign. PM Modi declares there will be a political tufan after the 4th of June. Congress President Kharge says PM will go on permanent meditation after result. PM lands in Kanniyakumari after campaigning ends. He'll meditate at the Vivekananda Rock Memorial for 48 hours. Opposition calls this a violation of the Code of Conduct. Rajwal Revana en route Bengaluru from Munich, MEA to revoke his diplomatic passport. Rape accused MP claims witch hunt by the Siddaramaiah government. Larger conspiracy to shield the Pune miner unravels. Mother gave her blood sample to swap it for the son's alcohol test. Hunt on for the absconding mother. Delhi goes dry as temperatures soar. BJP protests outside Delhi Minister Atishi's house. AAP blames Haryana government for the water crisis. The grueling 75-day-long election campaign has come to an end. Prime Minister Modi held a record number of public engagements, 206 rallies, roadshows and 80 interviews. Now he's in Kanniyakumari in Tamil Nadu to meditate. Some are calling this the return of Tapaswi Modi. He went to Kedarnath in 2019 where he meditated inside a cave. This time the Prime Minister is at the Vivekananda Rock Memorial championing his vision for a Viksit Bharat. He'll meditate at the Dhyan Mandapam where Swami Vivekananda once had a vision about Bharat Mata.
4 जून के बाद अगले 6 महीने में देश में बहुत बड़ा राजनीतिक भूचाल आने वाला है। ये परिवारवादी पार्टियां अपने आप बिखर जाएगी। इनके कार्यकर्ता भी अब थक चुके हैं। वो भी देख रहे हैं कि देश किधर जा रहा है और ये पार्टियां किधर जा रही हैं।
Prime Minister Modi will be embarking on a 24-hour meditation starting tomorrow at 1:30 p.m. He'll meditate at the Dhyan Mandapam of the iconic Vivekananda Rock Memorial in Kanniyakumari. This is the place where Swami Vivekananda is believed to have had a divine vision about Bharat Mata. The opposition is calling this a political ploy. Several opposition parties have complained to the Election Commission, accusing the Prime Minister of violating the poll conduct.
The Prime Minister's post-campaign spiritual retreat. Prime Minister Modi's meditation at Vivekananda Rock Memorial in Kanniyakumari, coinciding with the silent period after the campaign ends for the last phase of elections. And with voting on June 1st, the opposition suspects to be a ploy to stay in the spotlight and send ideological messaging to the voters after the campaign closes.
या तो प्रधानमंत्री इसको मात्र 24-48 घंटे बाद शुरू करें 1 तारीख की शाम को, और या अगर वो इंसिस्ट करते हैं कि कल शाम को 30 तारीख की शाम को शुरू करेंगे जैसा कि घोषणा में आया है, तो ये आवश्यक होना चाहिए प्रतिबंध चुनाव आयोग द्वारा कि इसका प्रसारण न प्रिंट न देखने वाली मीडिया, विजुअल मीडिया के द्वारा प्रतिबंधित होना चाहिए।
The opposition has not only filed a formal complaint to prevent the broadcast of Prime Minister Modi's spiritual retreat, but also launched a coordinated attack, issuing strong media statements about the plan.
ये मेडिटेशन की जरूरत तो पहले थी, 5 साल पहले या 7 साल पहले, जब आपको देश के लिए काम करना था। अरे 10 साल के बाद तो आपको फुर्सत ही फुर्सत है। आप जितना चाहोगे उतनी मेडिटेशन कर लोगे। और दूसरा, वहाँ तो भारत की सीमा खत्म हो जाती है, उसके बाद तो आगे पानी पानी है, पता नहीं कहाँ चले जाएंगे उसके आगे।
मार्केटिंग के लिए जा रहे हैं और हम तो रिक्वेस्ट ये करेंगे कि प्रधानमंत्री जब ध्यान करें कन्याकुमारी में तो मीडिया पे प्रतिबंध लगा दें। मीडिया का क्या काम है? ध्यान में बाधाएं आएंगी, लेकिन आप देखिएगा मोदी जी घुसा करके खूब फोटो खिंचवाएंगे और खूब प्रमोट करवाएंगे। चुनाव आयोग तो कुछ मोदी जी की खिलाफ कुछ एक्शन ले ही नहीं सकता, तो बोलने का कोई मतलब नहीं है।
The government, however, has dismissed the opposition's allegations.
कन्याकुमारी देश का एक बहुत ही मतलब इम्पोर्टेंट शहर है और इसीलिए मुझे लगता है कि प्रधानमंत्री को मेडिटेशन करने के लिए जाने का पूरा अधिकार है। इलेक्शन अभी हो चुकी है और कोड ऑफ कंडक्ट में इसमें कोई प्रॉब्लम आना बिल्कुल ठीक नहीं है।
For now, the Prime Minister's meditation program is already in the spotlight before it even began. Bureau Report, India Today.
It was about 131 years ago that Minister Narendra meditated in Kanniyakumari. He left to deliver the iconic speech at the World Parliament of Religions in Chicago. The world would later know him as Swami Vivekananda. Prime Minister Modi has often expressed his deep admiration for Swami Vivekananda, drawing inspiration from his teachings on spirituality, nationalism and social service.
जागो और लक्ष्य से पहले मत रुको। विवेकानंद जी का ये उद्घोष भारत के युवाओं का जीवन मंत्र है।
Prime Minister Narendra Modi's heartfelt tribute to Swami Vivekananda, a profound spiritual leader and philosopher who left a lasting impact on Indian nationalism and the mission of nation building.
स्वामी विवेकानंद जी कहते थे, हर काम को 3 चरणों से गुजरना पड़ता, उपहास, विरोध और स्वीकृति।
A brilliant intellect and force, born in 1863 in Kolkata as Narendranath Datta. The Prime Minister, who shares his first name with this spiritual icon, has often expressed how Swami Vivekananda's life and teachings have guided him.
Our governance philosophy is also inspired by Swami Vivekananda. He said that whatever privilege is broken and equality is ensured, society progress. Today, you can see the same vision in all our flagship programs. His most central message was about faith in ourselves and our country. Today, many experts are saying this will be India's century.
The Prime Minister, a global ambassador of Swami Vivekananda's ideas,
हमने इस परिसर में तो विवेकानंद जी की प्रतिमा की स्थापना की, पर हम हमारे मन मंदिर में, हमारे हृदय में विवेकानंद जी को प्रस्थापित करें। विवेकानंद ये न किसी व्यक्ति का नाम है, विवेकानंद न किसी व्यवस्था की पहचान है। एक प्रकार से विवेकानंद सहस्त्र साल पुरानी भारत की आत्मा की पहचान है।
As Chief Minister of Gujarat, he launched the month-long Swami Vivekananda Yuva Vikas Yatra from the holy town of Bahucharaji, covering the entire state. The site in Kanniyakumari, where Swami Vivekananda's meditation led to a vision for Ek Bharat Shresth Bharat, a united and strong India, will host the Prime Minister for a post-election spiritual retreat starting Thursday evening. Bureau Report, India Today.
Massive politics playing itself out over Prime Minister's visit to the Vivekananda Rock Memorial. Remember, this is something he's done in the past as well. In 2019, he went to the Kedarnath cave and meditated for a night there. The opposition is calling this a publicity stunt in the silent period. The BJP and the Prime Minister's own supporters are saying this is his way of winding down and letting all that stress out of his system that he's built up over the past 2.5 months while crisscrossing the country on the campaign. So how warranted is this criticism? And shouldn't the Prime Minister be allowed some downtime? The opposition though asks, if there is downtime, why are there cameras all around? And most importantly, what's the significance of picking this particular temple in Kanniyakumari? Because the Prime Minister last time was in Kedarnath, and Tamil Nadu has been a critical part of the BJP's campaign, with the Saffron Party trying to make inroads there. Joining us on this broadcast is Dushyant Sridhar is a Vedic scholar, author of Ramayana Vedanta Desika. We've got Hindol Sengupta, historian, author. He's written a book on Swami Vivekananda, the modern monk. With me in the studio is Rashid Khidwai. We've got Rajat Sethi joining us, well-known political analyst and author. And I want to go across at this moment to Akshita Nandagopal. She is our colleague. She is in Kanniyakumari at this moment. Akshita, it was miserably hot in Delhi. You were wanting to get away and now there you are. How's the weather there and what's the best sense that we have of the Prime Minister's program at this moment, Akshita?
Vanakkam Rahul, yes, the weather is much better than Delhi. I have no reason to complain. It's the onset of monsoon here, so supremely windy. I'm standing just meters away from the Tiruvalluvar statue and also the Vivekananda Rock Memorial. At about 300 meters away from me is where the Prime Minister right now is. He's spending the night at the Vivekananda Kendra. Officially, tomorrow is when his dhyanam begins, his meditation begins. Tomorrow in the afternoon from 1 p.m. for a whole 24 hours, he will sit in complete silence, Rahul, in one of 6 meditation rooms that are behind me in that particular area in the Mandapam. Now, once he's seated in that meditation hall, he'll have a direct view of the bronze statue of Swami Vivekananda. And there are pictures of that, of the Prime Minister already paying tribute to that statue. So he'll be sitting in complete silence, complete stillness, nobody around him, and he'll have a view of the statue. It's at this location that Swami Vivekananda essentially had a moment of enlightenment, attained enlightenment, and the vision of Bharat Mata came to him. So it's fitting that the Prime Minister has chosen this particular location. Its setting is of course beautiful. Right now it's pitch dark. I don't know how much you can actually see behind me, but the setting is absolutely beautiful, Rahul. Amid the waves and the shore, which is completely rocky, you have this massive Tiruvalluvar statue, the Prime Minister paying tribute to this iconic Tamil poet as well, and you have this Vivekananda Rock Memorial. So next 48 hours here in the southern tip of India, in Kanniyakumari, he's going to be spending all of it behind me in that small piece of land, the Vivekananda Rock Memorial. Rahul.
Very interesting. Swami Vivekananda, in fact, I'm told, swam till this island. The Prime Minister got there by boat. He'll be spending the night over there. Thank you very much, Akshita, for joining us. Akshita gets to unwind as well. She's been traveling through the countryside in the elections. I don't know whether she's meditating, but she'll definitely get to unwind much better weather than what we left her with in Delhi. So thanks, Akshita, for that. I want to go across to Hindol Sengupta. He's actually written a book on Swami Vivekananda. So if you can, through your research, Hindol, give our viewers a sense of the significance of the Vivekananda Rock Memorial and this particular spot in the life and times of Swami Vivekananda. Hindol.
Rahul, this moment of Swami Vivekananda meditating at what we now call Vivekananda Rock marks a transition in the journey of Swami Vivekananda. Remember, Swami Vivekananda in the earlier part of his monastic life had wanted to withdraw and become truly a monk and not really engage with the world, as many sages in the past have. But his guru, Sri Ramakrishna, told him, why should you be so selfish? Whatever God has given you, you must take it to the world and uplift the world, bring that knowledge, bring that wisdom to the world, perform seva. That's why Swami Vivekananda famously came out and said that, every jiva, every living organism deserves seva, and through that seva, you will discover the Almighty, you will discover God. Now, how is this significant to what is happening with Prime Minister Modi? I think Prime Minister Modi is the only politician after Mahatma Gandhi who understands that truly politics in India at its highest level imbibes a particular kind of spirituality. And if you really want to evolve people beyond infrastructure, beyond digitization and all of that, you must give them an emblem which they can look up to. Gandhiji was the last one who understood this. That's why I often say Modi is the biggest apostle or the biggest student of Gandhi. The other point is very important, Rahul, and allow me to say that. I think ever since the Ram Temple has been built, Narendra Modi, we know today that he's transforming his politics to a particular kind of welfare politics. He's building a new kind of welfare state in India. That welfare state, because of examples like Gandhiji, like Swami Vivekananda, at its highest level, has spirituality embedded in it. This marks the transition in many ways of Modi, the politician, to Modi, in a sense, the guru. India wants to be the Vishwa Guru. Well, this is the transition of Modi into a kind of guru, which Gandhiji also became. And we are seeing this transition, in a sense, live in front of us. We never saw, of course, our generation never saw Gandhi, but we are definitely seeing Modi make this transition in his lifetime.
Okay.
Now, how successful this transition will be, time will tell. But this kind of new welfare state, imbibed with values of spirituality, is being built by Narendra Modi, and the meditation, breaks that he takes are part of that.
So Hindal Sengupta setting the stage for this debate, saying this is where politician Modi is trying to become Guru Modi, trying to rise above the din and make it seem as if he is fishing in a different pond, he's punching in a different weight category, that he's above all other modern day contemporary politicians and trying to be in some ways what Mahatma Gandhi was during the independence movement. I'm sure Sanjay Jha has something to say about that. Sanjay, you heard from Hindal Sengupta, this effort that he's making to try and show that he's different from the rest, that he's cut from a different cloth, that this is a much larger spiritual quest, this is not day-to-day politics, that's now over, he's trying to rise above, infusing spirituality with politics. Sanjay Jha.
Rahul, two short points. Number one, I think after probably making the most crude, vulgar, outrageous and extremely obtuse speeches during these elections, I think Mr. Modi needs to do some meditation. Undoubtedly, I would agree with that. But to give him a spiritual halo as a result of making some of the most vulgar speeches and therefore requiring some downtime, as you called it, is making a mockery of the term spirituality. I do believe that Dr. Manmohan Singh actually has nailed it. Probably one of the most decent and distinguished men. He has called out the Prime Minister for lowering the stature of that august office, for the kind of language he's used. From Mujra, Mangal Sutra, who's eating mutton, machli, and, the kind of, the reservation for the Muslims. I mean, what kind of language has he used during this campaign? Bhais ko chura lega. I mean, has anybody who's watching this program, I would like to tell them through the medium of your very popular show, Rahul, has anybody, whether they're a Bhakt, Mr. Modi supporters or secular liberals, has anybody heard any Prime Minister stoop to this level? I had somebody, by the way, Rahul, who wrote to me saying, why are you guys getting so uptight about Mr. Modi's rather preposterous and absurd speeches, atrocious as they may be? It is in the heat of the election. But Rahul, as we all know, these are speeches that are heard by millions of young people. And imagine what they think, that if the Prime Minister of a country can stoop so low, what does it mean for the political destiny of India? But there's a point I strongly object to what the previous panelists said. I mean, I can understand a lot of right-wing cheerleaders trying to, circumvent and distort history. But to call Modi as a disciple of Gandhi is like mocking the great father of the nation. I mean, this is a party which celebrates, many of its leaders definitely celebrate Nathuram Godse. They have talked about calling him a nationalist, as a true patriot. And there are leaders who have been members of parliament. We are not talking of some extreme right-wing fringe lunatic group, etc., etc. The second point, I mean, we all know history. We all know the way RSS inflamed the communal environment which led to Gandhiji's assassination. I mean, Sardar Patel said that himself. So why is anybody here believing that by trying to distort a conversation using, glib language or trying to use the post-truth and all kinds of, I would say, very clever circumlocution, can you really change the truth?
I'm going to give Hindal a very brief opportunity to respond to what you're saying. You're saying that, it's ridiculous to say that Narendra Modi is an apostle of Mahatma Gandhi, his party, and what leaders in his party have said would prove the otherwise. Let Hindal respond very briefly to that.
It is sad to say that Sanjay Jha cannot go above the sort of, everyday quarreling that he does day in and day out. I am not interested in that sort of thing, and I'm not talking about that sort of thing. I am saying that in recognizing the value of Hindu spirituality as deeply embedded in the idea of the highest form of politics, Gandhiji was the first person in India, in the modern India, who understood this, and Narendra Modi understands that too. Among his generation of politicians or any other politician, the only person after Gandhi who understands that at its highest level, politics and spirituality in India, Hindu spirituality, are deeply enmeshed and intertwined in the hearts and minds of the people, and indeed in the way you do politics. There are two people who really understood this. One was Gandhi, the other is Modi. I am not talking about the kind of stuff Sanjay is talking about. He's happy and free to keep fighting those quarrels every day. But if you look at it from a historical perspective, it is impossible not to see the parallels. Narendra Modi has recognized from the life of Mahatma Gandhi that in order to present yourself as higher, as Rahul, you yourself was saying, as higher and above the dirt and muck of politics, and this is not to say that the dirt of muck in politics will not be handled at a day-to-day basis. But in order to take a higher stand at some point and to reinvent and reimagine himself, a deep sense of spirituality will have to be imbibed.
Okay.
And the optics of that is playing out. It played out at
Rajat
It played out at the Ram Temple. It's playing out today at Vivekananda Rock.
Rajat Sethi, Sanjay Jha's quarrel with Hindol's argument is, look at the kind of campaign Prime Minister Modi ran. It was shrill in parts, highly aggressive. Sometimes, you know, he also punched below the waist, and therefore if you do all of that, you can't suddenly at the end of the campaign say, I've risen above all of this.
Yeah, that's right.
Can you hear me, Rajat Sethi? Do you want to respond to that?
Yes, I can. Yeah. See, I mean, we are all analyzing it from political lenses. I don't think Prime Minister Modi is seeing an iota of politics in what he's doing. It is his way of, looking at milestones to ponder over what he has contributed and perhaps what he would eventually contribute in over the next few years as he stepped into the next role. His journey is his own personal journey, like for every seeker within Hinduism. He too is a seeker, and his path is through spiritual corridors, and he keeps choosing it. The problem with the opposition is that they don't a political grandstanding as such. That is their problem. That is the problem of the Congress party. It is their leader who chooses to go to Thailand for spiritual awakening. That is their problem. If they can't find any spiritual land within India, what does Modi have to do with all this? He did not say that make a public statement that, see, I'm going to go there, get all your cameras over there. It is the media's problem that it is going to carry cameras there. It is him who has said that I need 48 hours of break. I want to go and meditate. What is the problem?
Okay.
In fact, he is giving a message to all Indians that all of us in our day-to-day lives should meditate. Meditate and ponder over what we have done right and what we have done wrong.
Let Rashid Kidwai respond to that. This is powerful political symbolism.
Unfortunately, Congress doesn't do that purification
in terms of the choices the Prime Minister has made. Somebody in the Congress may want to go scuba diving, somebody may want to go surfing, somebody may wish to go hiking, and that's fine too. This is the choice the Prime Minister has made. He must be respected for that. And he's also, as Rajat Sethi argues, sending a subconscious message to people. Think about this, going to meditate at a rock, being by yourself is a good way to be. He's trying to set an example for Indian society.
Yeah, so Rahul, it is not unusual for political leaders to be embarking upon this kind of spiritual journey. Rahul Gandhi did it. He did this Mansarovar Yatra also. We must not forget that. A lot of people do it. Here, Mr. Modi is within his rights to be doing so. He's a Prime Minister of India. He's a Karm Yogi. Is he going to be, quiet for Maun Virat for 2 days? Can he afford to do that? There are a lot of, political, international, domestic.
But he said he will do that. from 1:30 tomorrow for 24 hours.
As a citizen, Rahul, we must think of this. There are going to be a lot of, I hope he manages to do it, but there are so many political exigencies come up in domestic politics or international affairs that a Prime Minister of the country, I think, is better off not, pledging this kind of thing, that he's not going to speak for 48 hours or more.
But why is that your choice? It's his choice. He thinks he can do it.
It's just right. He's a Prime Minister. He has taken oath, of Constitution and office, and where he's, this is his spiritual part. So what I'm saying is, much that I would like him to, follow this Maun Vrat for 48 hours and more. But I think, the kind of politics we have, the kind of governance we have, I think, he needs to be very careful whether he'll be able to do it or not. And just one more point. See, the political aspect is, I think, exaggerated by the opposition also. This looks very high on, optics, but very low on substance. Can you imagine, and Rahul, you are very well traveled to this election, is it going to make any difference to the 57 Lok Sabha seats that that will go to polls? Tell me, please.
No, but he's not. That's the point that Rajat and Hindol are making, that he's not trying to impact the polls. He's doing this after the elections are over. He's saying, "Mere liye khatam ho gaya, bhai, election."
If he's doing it as a private citizen, then the camera should be off, and it should not be from Election Commission. It should be from the Prime Minister himself.
Okay, let Rajat Sethi respond to that. If this is so spiritual, then why are the cameras tagging him, Rajat?
Is he himself carrying the cameras?
Yes, because there's no other. So there's nobody's camera there. It's the cameras from people around him, which are the only cameras that are there.
This is the problem. This is the problem, Rahul. Can we for once get up out of these political bickering? Give man his space, for God's sake. He's going through his own self-purification. Where do we all come in? We have our own
Sanjay, now respond to that.
Space. It is his.
Give the man some space, says Rajat Sethi. Sanjay,
we all understand we are doing a debate, for God's sake, on such a silly topic. He is going through purification. We should be taking this half an hour and do our own self-purification rather.
aap bhi dhyan karo. Sanjay, you also meditate, says Rajat Sethi. Less carping, more meditation.
Yeah, Rahul, let me tell you, nobody knows when I meditate, by the way. And one of the thumb rules of meditation, if anybody really believes that he's a proponent of Hinduism, is that you got to be actually in isolation. And you got to be aware that you are not just in isolation because you are all by yourself, but nobody else is around you. Mr. Modi is a complete contrarian to what meditation stands for. Point number 2, and this is critical, this is a silent period, as Rahul, as you correctly pointed out at the beginning of the debate. Now, I can tell you, Mr. Modi has a right to go wherever he wants, but Rashid has hit the nail on the head. That if you truly believe that this is your private moment to probably get over your guilt or remorse or whatever it is, or to believe in the great world you're going to create for the next 1,000 years, kindly do that in your private domain. And if you're choosing a public space,
exactly, like
cameras are going to be there. Mr. Modi is a sharp political character. He knows the cameras are going to be there.
Wherever,
and it is exploiting for political capital. Can I speak without this gentleman interrupting? Okay. It is exploiting for political capital a moment which is meant to be private. And you think he doesn't know that the opposition will be up in arms? He knows that. He is playing a very deliberate political, shall we say, move on the chessboard, which is, I think, technically immoral and spiritually absolutely unethical.
Okay, Dushyant Sridhar, you're a Vedic scholar. Respond to Sanjay Jha's argument that if this was all about spirituality, it should be done in private. No one should know what you're doing, why you're doing it, where you're doing it. Do it for yourself. The charge is that because he's doing it by announcing that this is being done, a lot of this is to try and circumvent the moral code of conduct, find some way of ensuring that you are in public circulation, even though technically you're not saying anything, you aren't making a speech, but still your mug is out there that this is surreptitious campaigning.
Namaskaram, Rahul. Namaskaram to all my panelists and the viewers of India Today. Very quickly, 3 points. The first point is with respect to the statue there. It is that of Thiruvalluvar. And Rahul, over 15 times in his speeches, the Honorable Prime Minister has quoted the couplets of Tirukkural, which is a compendium of 1,330 verses in chaste Tamil written 2,000 years before by Saint Thiruvalluvar. In the 610th Kural, the poet says, a person who works extremely hard, he will be able to attain and receive the riches and the prosperity of all the worlds that Lord Trivikrama received. Probably the Honorable Prime Minister is imbibed and he takes inspiration from Thiruvalluvar. Point number 1. Point number 2, the town is called Kanniyakumari. It is named after Shakti Devi, Parvati, who through the form of Kanniyakumari destroyed an asura called as Banasura, who thought that a lady can never destroy him. So this is the belief that we Hindus have, and it is from the very same place, Kanniyakumari, that one politician listened to a pastor's speech where the pastor said that Shakti is not true God. Maybe to do Prayashchittam for that statement made in Kanniyakumari that celebrates a Devi, the Prime Minister would have thought, let me do Prayashchittam meditating there. And with respect to Prayashchittam, one panelist said for all the speeches that he has made, he has to do Prayashchittam, atonement. That way, even a person who has been carrying a constitution book all along in the rallies stating that this will be changed, and for having listened to a statement as obnoxious as Shakti Devi is not a true God, should sit along with him and do that meditation. And the very third point that I would like to make is 2 points were raised in this debate. One, with respect to he has taken the oath of a Prime Minister, how can he absolve himself from doing his duties for 2 days? And then came the conduct, the MCC. So it is in the very state of Tamil Nadu that a conference was called as an abolition of Sanatana Dharma conference, and a sitting minister presided over it and called Sanatana Dharma Hinduism by names such as AIDS and cholera. That person was not condoned. There was no question of conduct. There was no question of having taken oath under the constitution there that came. And now if a person sits on a vow of silence, immediately MCC will come, immediately atonement, Prayashchittam will come. It is to each one of them to internalize and understand and contemplate if the statements that they make have any nyayam in it.
Okay, Rashid Kidwai respond. Ultimately, it's about choice. It's about how the Prime Minister wishes to spend this time. And at some level, it's also the media's fault. If you're showing this, you're as much to blame, because the fact is this is how he wants to spend his time. And I know that there are leaders in the Congress and elsewhere who've also made holiday plans and are doing various things. And therefore, that's the point that's being made, to each his own. Let them do what they want, whatever gives them joy, whatever gives them satisfaction. After all that they've been through in the past 75 days, all of them are entitled to de-stress.
Rahul, I've said earlier, I am repeating again, Prime Minister is within his rights to be doing this. There is no two views about it. I said what opposition is saying or doing is incorrect and futile. Key point here, and I didn't say that Prime Minister should not observe, Maun Vrat, he should. But I am saying the kind of, politics they have, the kind of governance we have, the kind of international situation we have. I think, I'm little worried that, a Prime Minister, would he be able to, maintain his vow of silence for 48 hours or more? That's the key point.
So I want to raise the level of this debate just a moment, go across to Hindal Sengupta and try and explain what were the kind of learnings that Swami Vivekananda came up with while he was at the Vivekananda Rock Memorial. From what I've read, it seems this is where he came up with the concept of Bharat Mata. How did he envision it? And from the actions and the speeches of the Prime Minister, which parts of Swami Vivekananda's life and writings do you think he's most inspired by and trying to implement in his real life?
I think, Rahul, we must understand that Swami Vivekananda represents, as I often say, the confidence of the colonized. Remember, Swami Vivekananda was part and lived in a country which was, colonized. And yet he had the confidence to go out there in the West and essentially declare that his civilization, his culture was not only equal to, but had a lot to teach the West. Now, this was unique. No other colonial figure, suppressed colonial figure showed this kind of confidence or had this kind of confidence. I think one of the clear messages that Prime Minister Modi, and remember, we are forgetting one part of history. Prime Minister Modi, when in his early life, when he was a young man, tried to become a monk of the Ramakrishna Mission. A senior monk of the Ramakrishna Mission, after he made repeated attempts to become a monk, told him that this was not his path. He had to go and do things in the world. And that's why he didn't become a monk. So his association with Swami Vivekananda goes back a long way. Now, the lesson I think that Narendra Modi has taken from the teachings of Swami Vivekananda is this, that India must rise in the world. This was very, very dear to Swami Vivekananda's life and teachings, that India had something unique and precious to offer to the world, and India must rise in the world, not only spiritually, Rahul, also materially. That's why Swami Vivekananda constantly spoke about strength, physical strength among people and also national strength, what we would call today comprehensive national strength. So this idea that India must rise and India must take its natural position of leadership in the Committee of Nations is a theme that comes again and again and again in Swami Vivekananda's work. And even though Swami Vivekananda saw a colonial nation, he could imagine that India would one day rise. And I think in all his associations with Swami Vivekananda and with the Ramakrishna Mission, Narendra Modi has taken the lesson that his journey, if there is one, is to build an India that rises. And that's why this constant references to rising India, that's why this desire to become Vishwa Guru, that's why this constant emphasis that from the fifth largest economy will become the third largest economy, and indeed in the Security Council, India must take its rightful position. All of these themes can be taken back to the spiritual nationalism of Swami Vivekananda, who was really in many ways the first great monk of Indian nationalism, the first great leader of Indian nationalism.
Dushyant Sridhar, let's spend a moment trying to dissect the choice, because the Prime Minister could literally have gone anywhere. He could have gone to Somnath, he could have gone to Tirupati, he could have gone to any Trimbakeshwar, he could have gone to any of the important temple complexes. He's chosen to come here, and this constant idea of linking the north with the south, involving Tamil Nadu with what's happening in the rest of the country, has been a very important political journey for him. So how much of this choice is also at some level representative of political choices? Because Tamil Nadu is an important battleground state. It's said that BJP's vote share is going up. So try and be there as much as possible so that you're in the consciousness of Tamil society.
Rahul, very quickly, 3 points. In the north, in the state of Uttar Pradesh, we have this kshetram called Prayagraj. Prayaga means where there is a confluence of rivers. So in the fresh waters, we have Ganga, Yamuna and Antarvahini Saraswati. So the fresh waters see their Sangamam there. And in Kanniyakumari, you see the 3 seas, Arabian Sea, the Bay of Bengal and the Indian Ocean coming together. But it is in the salt waters. So this is a Prayaga Kshetram in a way. There is a confluence in a way. And second point that I see is in the month of January, we had the very famous and very celebrated Prana Pratishtha of Ramachandra in Ayodhya. Ramachandra's Dharmapatni is Sita. And Swami Vivekananda says that Sita represents every citizen, every Bharatiya in India. Maybe to contemplate upon the Dharmapatni of Rama called Sita, he sits on the rock at Vivekananda Memorial. And the third is the very important point, Rahul. Swami Vivekananda said, the West has solved the problem of how much a man can have. Whereas the East, which is India, has solved the problem of how little a man can have. You can remain contented with whatever little you have. If you have seen the personal life of the Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi, though he has occupied the very high office of the Prime Minister, he has kept his family at a distance. This man doesn't take a single day off. And we have made it a habit these days, Rahul, that we celebrate the greatness of people only if they are dead. Why can't we understand some of the nice traits that this Honorable Prime Minister carries? Why shouldn't we celebrate him while he's there? He may have a lot of disadvantages, which the opposition has every right to point to. But with respect to integrity, I feel that this Honorable Prime Minister inspires a lot of people to taking up to spirituality in this beautiful desham called Bharata.
Let Sanjay Jha respond. Celebrate while the Prime Minister is alive. Why just celebrate those who are dead? There are certain remarkable qualities the Prime Minister has brought to public life, and those should be cherished by all regardless of their political affiliation, says Dushyant Sridhar.
You know, Rahul, I think as enlightened citizens of the country, everybody who's watching your program, they have a right to expect a certain degree of a public standard from our political leaders. You can't be brazenly hypocritical. You know, there are many people here who have quoted Swami Vivekananda. Let me tell you, many of us have read it both when we were in college, etc. The BJP, I mean, this is where I come down to the politics, because we are talking politics here. Ideology, unfortunately, has been surrendered a long time ago. Swami Vivekananda, by the way, was one of the principal proponents of a very religiously modern thinker. He was somebody who believed that India needed to be a multicultural, it had to use its diversity, its multi pluralistic nature in terms of its definition of a nation. I mean, he was amongst those people who actually talked about religious tolerance. So where are you today seeing that in the practice? For somebody who was probably the pioneer of a conversation on secularism, do you see the BJP practice secularism? Its principal leader during this campaign has been openly and blatantly anti-minority, especially anti-Muslim.
Let Rajat Sethi respond to that and then I'm out of time. So Rajat Sethi, very quickly.
I don't think respectfully that Sanjay ji deserves a response on this. He keeps harping on the point that he wants to see political colors. I keep harping on the point that I do not want to see political colors in this. I see this as a pivotal moment in India's journey towards Viksit Bharat. Why it is important is because the next 5 years are going to be a make or break for the nation. Either we do good for ourselves and get onto a trajectory where we become a developed country, or we lose out and miss this opportunity yet again. A person who has to take the country of 1.5 billion people deserves 48 hours to think, to brainstorm. The task ahead is not an easy task. Historically, no other individual has accomplished this task to take a 1.5 billion strong a nation forward. He has been, in all likelihood, will be given that responsibility on the 4th of June. He deserves the time to actually ponder over, understand where he has taken things so far in the past 10 years and where he needs to take off in the next 5 years and leave pass the baton eventually to the next.
I just want to wrap this debate up by saying that everybody just needs to chill just a bit, do dhyan or take a chill pill or whatever it is that you wish to do and just calm down, because there's just too much angst and negative energy that's been floating in the political firmament as a result of this bruising and long campaign. So everybody just calms down, do some meditation, find your own rock and let the Prime Minister be. On that note, we'll wrap this up. Thank you very much for joining us. What I want to do now is slip into a quick break. We'll have a lot more for you. Prajwal Ravana is coming back. So we'll track that story. We'll see where he's reached his special land tonight. And I'll tell our viewers, our teams will be up till late into the evening tracking Prajwal Ravana's return. Also, larger conspiracy to shield the Pune miner and Ravans. Mother gave her blood sample to swap it for the son's alcohol test. Hunt for the mother currently on. Details coming up on the other side.
India cools down in 10 seconds with Hexa Inverter, heavy-duty air conditioner. Higher, more creation, more possibilities.
Dulux Weather Shield Power Flex. इसका हर रंग लड़े धूप, धूल और बारिश से. It's colorful. It's powerful. Dulux, Dulux, Dulux.
What you doing? Yeah, you're getting me down. Got me looking at you, scared in the crowd. Why do you wanna move like that? Why you want coming for you? Let me show you why.
Introducing Motorola Edge 50 Fusion. Own the spotlight.
An unparalleled election coverage with the team that wins every election. From unmatched on-ground reporting to real-time poll updates. Stay tuned to the Maximum channel for the maximum coverage.
Platinum Partner. Signature Finest Silver Elaichi, a premium product from Dilbag. Mankind Pharma, serving life. Intelligence meets art with the all-new Motorola Edge 50 Pro. Higher heavy-duty air conditioners. Gold Partner, Dulux Paints. Silver Partner, Supreme Total Piping Solution.
सुप्रीम के 9000 से भी ज्यादा प्लम्बिंग एंड ड्रेनेज प्रोडक्ट्स और वाटर टैंक्स बने हैं क्वालिटी रॉ मटेरियल्स एंड इनोवेटिव डिजाइन से। सुप्रीम टोटल पाइपिंग सॉल्यूशन, जीवन भर का साथ।
अगर रुंगटा स्टील से बनाया होता तो रईस यहाँ से नहीं आ पाता। रुंगटा स्टील का यही कमाल, एक बार लगे चले सालों साल। रुंगटा स्टील TMD बार, एकदम सॉलिड।
You're on board the Newstrack. Rape-accused JDS MP Prajwal Ravana, who's been holidaying abroad for over a month, is finally on his way back to India. Prajwal will be landing in Bengaluru in a few hours from now and has already sought anticipatory bail. He's also accused the Karnataka government of orchestrating a political conspiracy against him.
Huge outrage continues against Karnataka MP Prajwal Ravana. Anger has spilt onto the streets of Karnataka ahead of his return to the country. Hundreds of citizens hit the road demanding the arrest of the JDS MP, who faces 3 rape charges. According to sources, Prajwal is expected to fly into India from Munich and land in Bengaluru late on Thursday night after over a month on the run. The special investigation team is maintaining a strict vigil at the Kempegowda International Airport to arrest him as soon as he lands.
ಅದರಿಂದ ಅವರು ಬರ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ನನಗೂ ಅನಿಸುತ್ತೆ. ಯಾಕೆಂದರೆ ಈಗಿನ ಡೆವಲಪ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸು ಬರಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಪ್ರಾಸೆಸ್ ಮುಂದುವರಿಯುತ್ತೆ. ಪಾಸ್ಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ಸಲ್ ಮಾಡೋದು, ಆಮೇಲಿಂದ ಇಂಟರ್ಪೋಲ್ನವರಿಗೆ ಮತ್ತು ತಿರ್ಗಾ ನಾವು ರಿಕ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಅಂದರೆ ಥ್ರೂ CBI ನಾವು ನೇರವಾಗಿ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಬರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. Through Government of India agencies to Marti.
Since the SIT has also been formed and they have also gone to court and the warrant has been issued. So it's just a matter of time. As soon as he lands, he will be taken into custody, is what the Home Minister also has briefed the media.
Prajwal Ravana is leaving no stone unturned to get off the hook. On Wednesday, a special court rejected a petition for anticipatory bail filed by the suspended JDS leader. In his bail plea, Prajwal Ravana alleged a smear campaign against him by Chief Minister Siddaramaiah. Prajwal claimed that the huge number of sex videos of him that became public were fake and doctored to damage his image as part of a political conspiracy. Prajwal had released a video message earlier saying he would appear before the probe team on May the 31st, justifying his absence from the country as being due to depression over the proceedings.
The Immigration Office will report to the SIT about his arrival. In all possibilities, he will be picked up from the Immigration Office once he lands Bengaluru. And thereafter, the SIT will go ahead and conduct the interrogation in the entire case of sexual assault and rape charges against MP Prajwal Ravana. With the regional Shivamurthy Sagairaj reporting for India Today, Bengaluru.
The unravelling of Pune's Posha Parivar continues. In a stunning twist, it's now emerged that it was the minor's mother who gave her blood sample for her son's alcohol test. Shivani Agarwal's sample was swapped after she paid 3 lakh rupees to the doctors at the Sassoon Hospital. Here's more.
The cries of these mothers still haunt. They have lost the young children, Ashwini and Anish. Both young IT professionals were crushed by speeding Porsche being driven by a drunk minor in Pune.
इसे सख्त से सख्त कार्रवाई की जाए, क्योंकि वो बच्चा नहीं है. एक मतलब ड्रिंक करके इतनी बड़ी गाड़ी चलाता है, वो कोई नाबालिग नहीं है. सब चीजें वो बालिग जैसा कर रहा है, तो उसे सजा भी अच्छी होनी चाहिए ताकि दूसरे को वो संदेश मिले कि ऐसा कुछ होना नहीं चाहिए.
केवल पैसे के बल पे ये अपनी बच्ची को 15 घंटे में छुड़वा लिए. ऐसे मेरे बच्चे को ला सकते हैं क्या? वो ले आए मेरे बच्चे को वापस, ला सकते हैं. 15 घंटे नहीं, मैं उनको 30 घंटे देती हूँ, ला सकते हैं. अपने बच्चे को छुड़वा लिए.
As 2 mothers await justice, another mother tried to subvert it. This is Shivani Agarwal, the mother of Pune's Posha Parivar. And it has now emerged that it was Shivani that gave her blood sample for her son's alcohol test. The blood sample of her drunk son, the minor driver of the Porsche, was swapped with the mother. Shivani Agarwal also paid 3 lakh rupees to the doctors at Pune's Sassoon Hospital to swap the blood samples. Shivani is now on the run. She is reportedly hiding in Chandigarh. This is the latest in the unraveling of this family.
Please, I request Police Commissioner to please protect him. Please protect him. Please.
Vishal Agarwal, the minor's father who forced the driver to take the blame and bribed the doctors to swap his son's blood reports, is currently in custody. S.K. Agarwal, the grandfather, who allegedly threatened and kidnapped the driver and also had links to underworld don Daud Ibrahim, is also under arrest. It is now clear that this influential builder family did all it could to buy their child's release. What about the price of the 2 lives lost? With Divyesh Singh in Pune, Bureau Report, India Today.
Is there a political link to the Pune Porsche horror? The role of NCP Ajit Pawar faction MLA is now under the scanner. India Today investigates.
Sensational revelations in the Pune Porsche accident that killed 2 software engineers. The probe has unveiled the murky nexus between politicians and the family of the accused underage driver of the Porsche. At the center of this nexus now is Pune MLA Sunil Tingre from the Ajit Pawar faction of the NCP, whose actions are now under intense scrutiny. According to the Dean of Pune's Sassoon Hospital, Vinayak Kale, Dr. Ajay Tawade, arrested for tampering with the suspect's blood samples, was reinstated last year with the backing of MLA Tingre. Despite a history marred by involvement in illegal kidney transplants and drug-related offences, Dr. Tawade was appointed head of the Forensic Medical Department, allegedly at the behest of Maharashtra Medical Education Minister Hassan Mushrif and MLA Sunil Tingre. After the damning revelations, Dr. Tawade was placed on compulsory leave by the Maharashtra government.
2 डॉक्टरों को तावरे और होर्नर उनको अभी सस्पेंड किया गया है. जो डीन है उनको हम कंपल्सरी लीव पर भेजा है और जो वो कार पार्टी करके जो मुझे मालूम नहीं नाम उसे निलंबित किया गया है.
The police are actively investigating allegations that MLA Tingre contacted Dr. Tawade to alter the medical test to protect the teenager. Officers are examining Dr. Tawade's communication records, including WhatsApp and FaceTime calls, to uncover any evidence of coercion or manipulation. The Juvenile Justice Board's decision to grant bail to the accused with soft conditions is also under the lens. When confronted by India Today, Juvenile Justice Board non-judicial member L.N. Dhanwade, who granted the bail with the incredible condition of a 300-word essay, evaded our questions.
क्या कहेंगे कुछ कहेंगे सर आपने एक जजमेंट दिया था कुछ कहेंगे सर प्लीज सर 2 मिनट बात करेंगे सर कुछ कहना है आपको सर तो यही है एलन धनौड़े जिन्होंने उस जुवेनाइल केस में एक जजमेंट दिया था सर कुछ कहेंगे सर तो आप देख सकते हैं किस तरीके से बचने की कोशिश एलन धनवड़े जो है वो कर रहे हैं किसी भी सवाल का जवाब नहीं दे रहे हैं और मीडिया से बच के भागने की कोशिश उनके द्वारा की जा रही है.
The Maharashtra government has set up a special investigation team to probe the board members' conduct. The police are also planning a digital reconstruction of the accident scene using advanced AI tools to piece together the exact sequence of events and unearth any evidence. With Divyesh Singh and Dipesh Tripathi in Pune, Bureau Report, India Today.
This is where I wrap up the Newstrack tonight. As I said, do track our coverage of the return of Prajwal Revanna. Massive hunt on for him. He comes back tonight. Our teams will be live late into the evening tracking his return. Also, 5 p.m. onwards, the first Saturday, Super Saturday. India Today's team will take you through the results of the most anticipated India Today Access My India exit polls. Do watch our team in action from 5 p.m. onwards on Saturday. We have a very busy, very exciting weekend lined up. Look forward to your time, your trust and your indulgence. Thank you very much for tuning in tonight. I'll see you tomorrow at 8.
India cools down in 10 seconds with Hexa Inverter, heavy duty air conditioner. Higher, more creation, more possibilities.
अगर रुंगटा स्टील से बनाया होता तो रईस यहाँ से नहीं आ पाता। रुंगटा स्टील का यही कमाल, एक बार लगे चले सालों साल। रुंगटा स्टील TMD बार, एकदम सॉलिड।
हर पार्टी का अपना कैंपेन।
ठीक, ये कैंपेन नहीं है, ये झूठ का कैंपेन है, ये पार्टी का कैंपेन नहीं है।
Phases across the country, there's been a dip in voting percentage. Does that bother you? Does that bother?
No, not at all.
भाटी साहब बता दीजिए चुनाव कैसा चल रहा है?
बहुत ही बढ़िया चल रहा है, जोरदार चल रहा है।
Why vote for someone who's disgraced Parliament? What would you have to say?
I think I've made India proud, women proud, my constituency proud.
It's not about the miles, it's about the journey to encapsulate the electoral emotions of the world's largest democracy.
तो अभी ये लोग हमारे खाने पर, पीने पर, भगवान सांस लेने पर, भगवान का नाम लेने पर, ये कौन से बना रहे कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन? यहाँ फंडामेंटल राइट है भाई हमारा 21A के तहत। वी हैव फंडामेंटल राइट टू रिलीजियस एक्सप्रेशन। ये मैं कह रही हूँ, ये लोग भोकला गए हैं, इनका मानसिक संतुलन बिगड़ गई है। तो ये लोग समझ नहीं पा रहे कि मोदी जी को क्या कर कर रोके। मोदी जी अपने आप हैं, अगर जिस दिन ये इस्तेमाल करना चाहेंगे उस दिन ये लोग ठहर भी नहीं पाएंगे, बोल भी नहीं पाएंगे। तो सभी का अपना अपना हक बनता है। जैसे कि हम इधर आए हैं, शंकर भगवान माता रानी का नमन करे हैं, ये क्या अब हमसे अपना धर्म को भी छीन के उखाड़ के फेंक देंगे? सुनो भाइयों,